And welcome back to Mindfulness Mondays. This is session 3. So, over this session, I would like everybody to try to tap into their ability to extend love and kindness towards yourself, even if it's just a little bit. Throughout this session, we're actually going to be focusing more on the meditation practice, and we're going to have a few reflective exercises thrown in towards the end. So you can choose to have a pen and paper handy if you'd like to jot down your thoughts when we come to these reflective exercises. So to start, we're going to actually revisit 2 exercises from last week. If you found yourself unable to make the previous session, that's just fine. I'll be leading each meditation step by step. So first, we are going to take some time to appreciate our bodies through a mindfulness body scan. So to begin, I'd like you to ensure you're in a comfortable position, either lying down on the floor or a bed, unless you think you might fall asleep, or sitting up in a chair with some back support. If you are lying down, rest your arms about 6 inches away from your sides and ensure that your legs are slightly spread, about shoulder width apart. If you're in a chair, either place your arms on the arms of the chair or rest them loosely in your lap. Have your legs shoulder width apart and allow your eyes to close or to remain open with a soft gaze at either the image on the screen or something else in the room around you. Place your hand on your heart and let us take a moment to remember to be kind to ourselves during this exercise. And take several long, slow, deep breaths. So breathing in fully and exhaling slowly. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel your stomach expand on an inhale and relax and let go as you exhale. And let's begin to try to let go of any noises that might be around you. So together we'll take 3 of these deep, satisfying breaths. We'll now begin to shift attention from the outside to inside ourselves. If you find yourself being distracted by sounds in the room, simply take notice of this and bring your focus back to your breathing. Now slowly bring your attention down to your feet. Begin observing any sensations in your feet. You might want to wiggle your toes a little, feeling them against your socks or shoes, or perhaps taking notice of the ground beneath them. Let us simply notice, free from judgment. You might imagine sending your breath down to your feet, as if the breath is traveling through the nose into the lungs and through the abdomen all the way down to your feet. And then back up again, out through the lungs and nose. Now when you're ready, allow your mind to let go of your feet, to dissolve in your mind's eye, and move your attention up towards your ankles, calves, knees, and thighs. Observing the sensations you're experiencing throughout your legs. Breathing into and breathing out of them. If your mind begins to wander at all during this exercise, as minds do wander, I'd like you to gently notice this without judgment or criticism, and to bring your mind back to the sensations of your legs. If you notice any discomfort, pain, or stiffness, don't judge this or ponder why it's there. Simply notice it. Observing how old sensations rise and fall, shift and change from moment to moment. Try to notice how no sensation is permanent. Just observe and allow the sensations to be in the moment, just as they are. Breathe into and breathing out of the legs. On the next out breath, allow the legs to dissolve in your mind and move to the sensations found in your lower back and pelvis. Try to soften and release these areas with each breath in and each breath out. Try to bring a gentle understanding to any sensations that may be present. Slowly move your attention up to your mid-back and upper back. Become curious about the sensations found here and what you may be becoming aware of, perhaps the sensations of the muscles, any temperatures or points of contact with furniture or the bed. I'd like you to try with each out breath to let go of any tension you may be carrying within this area. And now, very gently, to shift your focus to your stomach and all the internal organs here. Perhaps notice the feeling of clothing, perhaps the process of digestion, or even the belly rising and falling with each deep breath. And if you happen to notice any opinions arising about these areas, I'd like you to gently let these go and refocus on returning to the sensations in your body. And as you continue to breathe, try to bring awareness to your chest and heart region. And let us just take some moments to notice the heartbeat. Perhaps giving a bit of appreciation, a small thank you to the heart. If you can, observe how the chest rises and falls during the inhale and the exhale. Perhaps trying to let go of any judgments that may be arising. Now on the next out breath, shift the focus to your hands and fingertips. See if you can once again channel your breathing into and out of this area as if you're breathing into and out from your hands. And then on the next out breath, shift the focus once more, bringing awareness up into your arms. Observe sensations, or perhaps a lack of sensations that may be occurring here. You may notice some differences between the left arm and the right arm. No, there's no need to judge this, but instead, approach each arm with a gentle curiosity and understanding as to why they may be feeling different in this moment. Try again on the exhale to soften and release any tensions found within your arms. Continue breathing and shift the focus to the neck, shoulder, and throat region. This is an area where we often hold tension. Let's try to be with the sensations here. Any tightness, rigidity, or sense of holding. Why not notice the shoulders moving along with the breath? Perhaps in this moment, letting go of any thoughts or stories you're telling yourself about this area. And as you breathe, may you feel tension rolling off your shoulders. On the next out breath, shift your focus and direct your attention to the scalp, head, and face. Observe all the sensations occurring here. What's the expression on your face in this moment? Notice the movement of air as you breathe into or out of the nostrils or mouth. And as you exhale, you may notice the softening of any tensions you may be holding around the eyes, the temples, or mouth. And now, let your attention expand out to include the entire body as a whole. Bring into your awareness the top of your head down to the bottom of your toes, feeling the gentle rhythm of the breath as it moves in through the body and out. Put your hand on your heart again, and with 3 final breaths, shower your entire body with affection. Now, as you are ready, gently open your eyes. And before we move on to our next exercise, take a moment to think about which body part you may have noticed having a particular amount of gratitude and appreciation for throughout that exercise, and why you think this may be. Our second exercise is affectionate breathing. So I'd like you to ensure you're in a comfortable sitting position and sit in a way that your bones are supporting your muscles. that you don't feel you need any effort to remain in one position for the whole exercise. To do this, I might suggest trying to keep your back straight and gently supported with your shoulder blades slightly dropped and chin gently tucked towards your chest. So hopefully having that strong back with soft, open chest, willing and wanting to engage in compassion and affection. If you find this position to be uncomfortable, then shift your body back and forth until you find a position that's just right for you. And if you feel the need to shift or move during this exercise, that's just fine. So I'd like you to start by taking 3 slow, easy, deep breaths to relax and let go of whatever burdens you may be carrying around with you today. And then let your eyelids gently close or partially close. Perhaps turn your gaze to the screen in front of you should you wish, whichever makes you feel most comfortable. Now bring your attention to your breathing. Pay attention to where you notice your breathing most easily. For some, they may feel it at the nostrils, perhaps as a cool breeze on the upper lip. For others, they may feel the chest rising and falling. And for some still, they may feel the breath most clearly in the abdomen as the belly expands with every in-breath and contracts with every out-breath. Gently explore your body and discover where breathing is easiest to notice. Let's just sit and feel the breath for a few more moments. And if you happen to notice your mind wandering as it does, simply bring your attention back to where you feel the breath in the body. Now, for some people, it might be easier to pay attention to only one part of the breath cycle, the in-breath or the out-breath. And if you like, notice when you feel your breath more easily. Is it when you exhale? Or is it when you inhale? Try to focus on just feeling it then. Let's just wait for the next in-breath or out-breath to return, savoring the moment when it does, and perhaps extending gratitude that it does always come back, it does always return. Let us continue to breathe, letting our body do the work for us as it automatically does anyways. With you maintaining the awareness of where in the breath cycle you feel the most at home. Now, put your hand on your heart for a moment to remind yourself that you're bringing kind attention to your breathing. Let's have a moment of awareness for how the breath nourishes us wherever we are, whether we're paying attention to it or not. How it's with us from birth until death, and more loyal to us than our closest friend. Allow yourself to appreciate this automatic process that sustains life wherever you go. And see, if you can, if you might be able to incline a gentle curiosity and gratitude towards the breath. And again, you may notice your mind wandering away from the sensation of the breath, but don't worry about this. Just gently return to the feeling of the breathing when you notice your mind has wandered. Now, for a moment, rest in the experience of the breath in your body. Noticing where you feel it most. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Perfect. We're now moving on to our third mindfulness exercise of the session. And this is known as a kindness towards a benefactor exercise. For the purposes of this video, we're doing a shortened version of this meditation today. And if you're planning on practicing this at home outside of this session, try to make sure that you set aside 10 to 20 minutes for the purposes of bringing warmth and good into your life. So, to start, I'd like you to take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, and to settle into your body and the present moment. Great. Now, I'd like you to put your hands on your heart and to remind yourself to bring loving attention to the present moment. I'd like you to feel the warmth of your hands, gentle pressure of them, and feel how your chest rises and falls beneath your hand with each breath. Now, bring to mind a person or another living being who naturally makes you smile. This could be a child, partner, parent, perhaps your cat or dog. Whomever naturally brings happiness to your heart. Perhaps it's even a bird outside your window. Let yourself feel what it's like to be in this being's presence. And let's take a few moments to allow yourself to enjoy the good company. Now, recognize how vulnerable this loved one is. Just like you, they're a being who is capable of getting sick or aging. And how also this being wishes to be happy and free from suffering just like you and every other living thing on our planet. Thinking of that being, of that person, or creature. Repeat the following softly and gently, and allow yourself to feel the importance of your words. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Now, when you notice your mind has wandered, as it will, try to return to these words: safe, peaceful, healthy, live with ease, and the image of the loved being you have in your mind. Savor any warm feelings towards that being that may arise, and go slow. Now, I'd like you to add yourself to a circle of goodwill and love that you've created for this being. Putting your hand over your heart and feeling the warmth and gentle pressure of the hand. You can choose to leave it here for just a few minutes or the rest of this meditation. I'd now like you to repeat each phrase after me whilst focusing loving kindness on yourself and the loved being. May you and I be safe. May you and I be peaceful. May you and I be healthy. May you and I live with ease. If you can, visualize your whole body in your mind's eye. And notice any stress or uneasiness that may be lingering within you. And offer yourself kindness. So, again, repeat each phrase after me whilst focusing loving kindness inwards towards yourself. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Now, take a few breaths and just rest, sitting quietly within your own body, savoring the goodwill and compassion that flows naturally from your own heart. And know that you can always return to these phrases anytime you wish. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Brilliant. We're now going to move on to our reflective exercises. And for our first exercise, I would like you to bring to mind some difficulty that you're currently experiencing in your life. And sit for a few moments and play that situation out in your head. I'd like you to try to focus awareness on any thoughts feelings, sensations, or emotions that may have arisen. And ask yourself the following: what am I experiencing right now? As you ponder this question, allow the thoughts, feelings, emotions, or sensations to be here. Take note of any aversive reactions you may have, accepting their presence in this moment. I'd now like you to take some time to investigate your experience with gentle curiosity and to ask yourself the following: what most wants my attention? How am I experiencing this situation in my body? What is it that I am believing? And what does this feeling want from me? We'll allow about 30 seconds to reflect on these questions and for you to jot down some answers. If you feel you need more time, please feel free to hit the pause button. I'd now like you to expand this awareness through to your entire body. Are you noticing any areas of resistance or tackiness? Or perhaps you've noticed any distress find its home? What I'd like you to do now is to take a few moments, so please feel free to pause again, to come up with some kind, self-compassionate phrases that you can say to yourself when distress may arise within your mind and body as it just has. And if you find yourself struggling, you can also use the phrases that have popped up on your screen. What I'd like you to do is in the future, use these phrases, or the ones that you've come up with yourself, to direct loving kindness inwards when you find yourself experiencing aversive reactions to distress, and to really foster that compassion. Try to explore what it is that wants your attention, what judgments or self-criticisms may be present, and how you can then begin to soothe that pesky inner critic voice through the use of these compassionate, loving kindness phrases. Our second reflective exercise is known as freedom from blame. So, what I'd like you to do is to think about a trait you often judge yourself for. And that may be an important part of how you define yourself. So take about 20 seconds. Right, now that you have this trait in mind, I'd like you to ask yourself the following questions. So, how often do I display this trait? And who are you when you don't display this trait? Are you still you? Are there any particular circumstances that seem to draw this trait out, and others in which the trait may not be apparent? And does this trait really define you? If particular circumstances must be present in order for it to emerge? What are the various causes and conditions that may have led to the trait in the first place? Did you choose to have this trait? And do you have much choice about whether or not you display this trait? And what happens when you reframe your self-description so you're not defining yourself in terms of this trait? I'd like you to take, say, a minute to just reflect on these questions and to jot down your responses really quickly. If you'd like to give this more time and thought, then please feel free to pause. Okay. And now, like you, going forward, to try and notice situations where you may notice this criticism towards yourself for your trait, this trait, or perhaps criticism towards others because they display something similar. And see if you can perhaps try to soften this criticism. What is it you think you'll need to hear during those moments? What do you think you'll need to do? Some ideas might include having a loved one record some loving, kind words and phrases for you to play back to yourself during times of judgment and self-criticism. Perhaps practicing loving kindness affirmations, acknowledging our common humanity and that we all experience suffering at one point or another. Our hand on heart exercise, where we channel inwards self-compassion and love. Or perhaps a visual cue, such as loving kindness vision boards, where you're able to see kind words and phrases at a moment's notice. So, as we come to an end, our next session, we will be focusing on developing your ability to have a self-compassionate voice. This will be a shorter session, as there's going to be an exercise towards the end that I'd like you to do, and this will require pen and paper. In the meantime, I'd like you to try to practice the loving kindness towards a benefactor meditation. I'd like you to take notice of situations where there may be criticism towards yourself or another, and see if you can soften this criticism even just a little bit. And lastly, try and practice using either the phrases listed today or your own self-compassionate phrases when you notice distress arising.